Have you ever wondered why recent Pokemon games suck, lack any ambition, and are about as polished as a dirty bedroom not cleaned for a couple of months?
But no matter how much you like Pokemon, I think it's in an inexcusable state for $60.
An amateur experience through and through. It
runs at like a constant 10 FPS, the poppin' is outrageous, half the shit has no texture, the dialogue never fucking ends.
Even though they are the #1 most profitable franchise in the world and make more money than the MCU and Star Wars combined, there is a simple reason for this. Recent Pokemon games feel rushed and runs as smoothly as this guy riding a slide. If this is your idea of smooth, is Game Freak just lazy, money-hungry heathens that don't care about their fanbase? Maybe. I'll be talking about the 5 main reasons why Pokemon games just kinda suck now, and why they won't get any better until these things change. Number 1. Game Freak has a monopoly over the market. There is obviously a huge market for a creature/pet capture type of game. Many games like Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Bakugan have all come and gone for the most part and have died off. But Pokemon has solely dominated the market.
Yeah,
they have no competition like whatsoever. They are practically untouchable. Competition is a fantastic thing for us, the consumers. It forces companies to fight for our money and create better products to beat out the competition, like iPhone and Android, or Xbox and PlayStation. But who's Pokemon's competition? No one. They have no incentive to make better Pokemon games. Reason number 2 is a shift in priority. If you think Pokemon is mainly a gaming franchise, you're wrong. It's not a gaming franchise anymore, at least not mainly. Pokemon has evolved from a gaming franchise to a merchandise franchise. When Pokemon was first created back in 1996, it originally started off as a video game. Now the video game aspect is secondary. What do I mean by that? Well, Pokemon has made over $92 billion. Yeah, stupid money. Most of Pokemon's revenue now comes mainly from its merchandise. This is where Pokemon's goldmine and cash cow is now. Pokemon generates a jaw-dropping 60+ billion just from merch alone. You can see why the delay of a Pokemon game now, especially a pushback of a new generation, which Generation 9 definitely should have been pushed back, by the way. The developers aren't stupid. They know the state the game was in when they released it. But if they pushed it back, not only would they miss the Christmas sales, it would push back sales for the TCG and other merchandise. And that is a big no-no for Nintendo. Nintendo and Game Freak prioritizing profits over their customers? Shocker, I know, a gaming company getting greedy and rushing things out before they're released? Unheard of. What are the odds? With the rising cost of living and inflation, being broke is as common as a Route 1 rodent. So is it too much to ask if we're paying our 60 or 70 bones or whatever it costs in our country for a premium AAA game, can we at least get a working game? Is that too much to ask?
But with the transition to the Nintendo Switch hardware, with its, it being much more powerful, allowing us to be much more expressive with each of the individual Pokemon.
Really?
At Game Freak, we really spent a lot of time thinking about what the best way to move forward was, really preserving the quality of all the different Pokemon.
I'm sorry, I'm allergic to bullshit.
Reason number 3. The game is made for casuals. Just casuals for the most part. Okay, let me explain. This is not a bad thing. In fact, I think this is a great thing. But, yes, there's always a but. While I do think it is necessary to appeal to a broad audience, as well as bring in a new audience, and of course, new kids are being introduced into the game every single day, and that's great.
Trust me, you're not that guy.
Even though, let's be real, it's probably by their parents who grew up playing Pokemon, which I will inevitably force onto my kids, by the way. Anyways, like I was saying, it's frustrating, like getting hit with the blue shell level of frustrating. They don't appeal to their older audience as much as they should. Like, come on. Game Freak knows that most of their fan base are beer belly, full-grown adults with beards and tattoos and butt transplants. I know many of us dream of that Pokemon game, you know, that actually challenges us and makes us feel like we're living inside that world we've always wanted, a living, breathing world like the anime or our imaginations. But of course, they dumb things down and not include things like difficulty options, level scaling, the battle frontier, or any sort of fun. Fun comes in DLC 3, or even a rival with any sort of bite whatsoever. I'm just saying, the games just feel pretty soulless here, and like many of the buildings, hollow. You know what it kind of feels like? It kind of feels like Game Freak thinks it's April Fool's Day, but it's every day, because it feels like we've been getting pranked for the past decade. It really does feel like this is how employees come into Game Freak, I swear.
Like today's the perfect day for a fuck up. I'm fucking up all day today. This is fuck up weather. That's what this.
Which brings us on to point number 4, is that I don't know what it is, but with Pokemon, I've never seen a company go up and down, take 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 1 step forward, 2 steps back, more than this company. Like, it's so weird. How does Pokemon following you go from this to this, and then this to this? Like, what happened? It also seems like they give 2 flying shits about our opinions, wants, and needs for the games. Like, it just seems like they want to do whatever they want to do, and it's not like they're making games for the customers, right? I just want to see some consistency and some improvement. That's all I want to see. Number 5 is a lack of innovation. I'm gonna give them credit where credit's due. Legends Arceus was a tippy toe in the right direction. Game Freak finally decided to leave the nest, you know, test the water, take some risks, and my gosh, was it ever refreshing. Please do more of that. Please innovate. Look at Mario games. Mario games are a perfect example of innovation, but yet keeping the formula the same. Pokemon, come on, what are you doing? Innovate. Please take some inspiration. I do want to say this is not a hate video towards Game Freak or Pokemon. I don't need the bros just hating comments down below. I love the franchise and just want to see the games take a better direction. That's all. We all know Pokemon Game Freak can do better, especially with the money they got. If they need more employees, buy some more damn employees. I will say after Legends Arceus, I am a bit more hopeful for the franchise and some things from Scarlet and Violet. So with Legends ZA, whatever it's called, I think that the future is looking a lot more hopeful. And it also seems like they're taking a year break, which is definitely needed. They have that extra year to polish the game.